Hi, welcome to another episode of Angels, Fairies, and Witches. I'm Michelle,
And I'm Laura.
and I'm not allowed to say good evening anymore because, as she pointed out to me several times, this show is seen Sunday nights at 7:30, which would make it evening, but it's also on other channels Wednesday at 11:30 in the morning, so that wouldn't be evening.
The majority of the time
It's
seen
evening.
during the morning.
Well, let's quit bickering here and get right to this evening's episode. We just wrote down a couple topics that we think are relevant and we'd like to talk about.
Yeah, so let's begin with forgiveness.
Ranks right up there with patience sometimes, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. And
You know what I think? I think people have the wrong idea about forgiveness. I think in the way it's taught in certain religions, it's almost like like the story of Jesus and tells you to, if your cheek gets slapped, offer up your other one. What the hell is up with that? Someone slaps your cheek, you cold cock them between the eyes. So that's not forgiveness, but
you strictly.
What do you say? The views of both of us are not necessarily shared by both of us. No, I think, yeah, turn the other cheek. No, I don't believe in turn the other cheek. Forgiveness is, I think, like this.
So she's an eye for an eye.
I am an eye for an eye kind of gal. I like to use one of my ex-husbands as an example. That he just, for a lot of years, put me and my children through an overly drawn-out divorce and assorted ugliness. And I hated him. I'll be honest with you, I hated him. And it took me a lot of years to forgive him, okay? Now, what I took that to mean is I didn't say to him or think to myself, well, every crappy thing he ever did to me, that's okay. No, I just released all thoughts of hatred and animosity because it was affecting me. As long as I was focused on hating him, I wasn't joyful and I wasn't happy and I wasn't at peace. Again, it took a long time for me to get there, and I know a lot of you have had similar experience, but if there's someone or several someones who have done you wrong in your life, just release it. Just release it because it's not good for you. Forgiveness is, okay, you know what? Lead your own life. I am no longer affected by your thoughts, your words, your subpoenas. So you give an example. Oh, kind and forgiving one. Seriously, it's like being best friends with Mary freaking Poppins. Just awful sometimes. Like, she never gets mad.
Well, I do get mad. I just don't stay mad.
At me, of course, but
Well,
that aside.
But I just don't stay mad. I don't see the point in harboring the anger because it just doesn't make you feel good to harbor it.
So give an example of
let it
someone
go.
that done you wrong, and you can't use me as an example, and how you forgave.
I got let go at my last job, and I was thankful. I thanked them for letting me go.
What? I didn't hear this.
Yeah,
They fired you, and you said thank you?
yeah, because I actually knew it was the better thing to happen to me. That I really wasn't happy what I was doing. I like what I do.
No, that must
but I
have
didn't like it
surprised them.
Yeah, I think it probably did.
Okay.
You know? But it helped me to move on right away.
Yeah.
Instead of lingering around going, oh, why me? I lost my job, poor pitiful me. So, yeah, thanked him right away before I even left the room. Yeah.
I did not know that. Sometimes when people talk about forgiveness, they'll use an expression, you just have to let it go. And I'm the type of person that wants to know, but how do you let it go? It's very easy to say the words. When somebody, let's use relationships as an example. Let's say somebody dumped you. Let's say they filed for divorce. Let's say you found out they were not being truthful. All sorts of variables. How do you let it go?
Well, I think that's where listening to the divine spark within you makes a difference. You need to stop and breathe and meditate away all the crap that's in your head, all this unhappiness and anger that and these.
Or you could drink a lot and then like drunk dial and tell them what you really think. And then you have closure.
You are so silly.
Variety of ways of handling this
now
stuff.
you know you wouldn't do that anymore. You've done that in the past, but you've grown spiritually, and you wouldn't ever do that again. I don't see you doing that again. Do you really think you would?
Well, no.
No,
not me.
Yeah, so I think basically it's listening to, letting that, get that stillness in your mind so you can actually hear the voice of the divine spirit within you. That's the only way you're going to do it.
Well, sometimes there's another way you can look at things. Relationships, romantic, friendship, family, coworkers. I think it was Wayne Dyer years ago that gave this wonderful example about people in your lives. And if you think about
it was Wayne.
It was Wayne, right? Yeah. The San Francisco?
Yeah.
Do they even still have them, the trolley cars?
Sure.
Okay. Never been there. So anyway, if you look at your life as like a trolley car ride, there are people that hop on your trolley car that are there for the entire duration.
The ride of life.
The ride of life.
Can't
Kick them off the trolley, though you may try. Then there are people that hop on your trolley car, hop off, never to hop on again. Then there are people that hop on your trolley car, hop off, hop on, hop off, hop on, hop off. So when you meet somebody, whether it becomes a friendship, a romance, somebody you have to work with, a family member, just because, you get dumped, or maybe sometimes you're the one that breaks up with them. If you look at it like, for those of you out there that are heartbroken, and I know it sucks because it's also the holiday season and, you have to have a boyfriend. Well,
or
you
a
don't.
Girlfriend.
Or
as
she gazes lovingly at me.
No,
what message are we sending the audience
if
here?
If it's a man watching.
Oh, if it's a man watching.
Right, or if they're gay.
What? Oh, I just no idea where she was going with that.
You know what I'm saying.
Now I do.
Okay.
So the point is, it's a rough time to be alone, especially if you feel like you were discarded. But why don't you try thinking about it differently? Let's say you were, give an example. I was dating-ish years ago this, he was my boss, actually. And it was very, one word of caution, do not dip the pen in company ink. It never ends well. And your business is all over the damn place and everybody hears about it. That being said, I dipped the pen in company ink. And so anyway, what we had at first was really wonderful. And then it was this whole ridiculous power struggle, who's chasing after who and the drama. And then I left, and I left that job to go to another one. And it turns out he started doing some really mean and awful and crappy things to the rest of the employees. And for a long time I thought to myself, what did I see in him? What a schmuck. I still feel that way, but I also feel for myself personally that we were meant to be together for that period of time, for his benefit, for my benefit. Lessons were learned, and then it was over. Time to move on. So maybe you could look at broken relationships or broken hearts in a different light.
Yeah, but what would be the point of him going on and being mean? But you just didn't see the meanness before? What were you referring to?
No, I was referring to while we were together and it was good. I like to believe that at some point he'll either stop being mean or get fired.
So
I'm actually hoping for number 2 that he gets fired.
He started being mean to people because you weren't around to distract him?
Or keep him in line.
Keep him in line. I like that.
Well,
that makes sense.
Keep
him in line.
The point here, though, is instead of being brokenhearted that the relationship ended, it was meant to be for a certain time, for a season, for a reason,
Yeah.
and then that's it.
And I always like to think that, especially, you know, like with my job loss, that something better is going to come along anyway. So.
Oh, it always does.
Yeah.
It always does. Why don't you tell your experience with your ex-husband? I'm always talking about mine. Well, just how you got out of it and forgave. Come here, you got schmutz.
I got schmutz.
Well, it's not like you're wearing lipstick, God forbid.
Oh no. Anyway, yeah, it was a good relationship, but he was a control freak.
It was a good relationship, but he was an ass.
Well, I didn't realize he was a control freak. I just thought it was romantic when I first met him. That
small town girl. He was
yeah,
a big city
time,
lawyer.
right? And he would order for me, and he would make all the arrangements for things that we would do. And I always thought it was just romantic for a while. Then I married him and realized that it was all part of a power struggle, and
she
I was never going to have a say. I was never going to be able to order food for myself again in a restaurant.
And then you had that aha moment one New Year's Eve.
Yeah, I just absolutely. We were together we were engaged for 5 years, and then we got married and we're married for another 5. So we were together 10 years before that aha moment finally came to me, and I said, I have more respect for myself. I'm not going to be the doormat
No,
anymore.
stop right there. What you just said was really very interesting, and I don't find a whole lot of things you say very interesting, but that one was, I have too much respect for myself to live this way.
Yep.
Maybe some of our viewers out there are in loveless marriages or control freak relationships, or I really hope not, but maybe abusive relationships.
Well, you got to learn to love yourself before you can do anything. I truly believe that. And I just knew, it wasn't my fault.
Yeah.
I'm not a bad person. We didn't work out. And I tried to make it work, which was wrong. I tried I wasn't living up to my true self. And I finally learned to stick up for my true self. Mm-hmm. My true self finally was able to come through and go, okay, you're better than this. Respect yourself.
Yeah.
Move forward.
Yeah. So, and don't out there beat yourself up about time. Like she was just saying, it took her 10 years to come to this. The point is, if you're thinking of it now, start taking action now. The past is the past, okay? You do just have to briefly tell that one story with the car door, because that's hilarious. Because he was just such an ass. And he had himself this nice fancy car, and he gave her this piece of tin can, if you will.
Actually, I didn't even have the tin can at the time of the car. I was taking trains.
In the subway.
Yeah, the subway and buses, and he always had a really fancy, schmancy car for himself, and I think he had a Chrysler New Yorker or something that he just absolutely loved, and he dropped me off one day. I was working in basically the same neighborhood as where he worked, so he dropped me off by his job where I could get on the subway and make it the rest of the way, and we were having some sort of disagreement about something, and I just threw my car door open to get out and didn't realize that it wasn't a parking lane at that time of day, it was a travel lane, and a car came by and took the door off.
Oh, man.
My. Fortunately, I didn't step out yet, so I didn't step into the path of the car, but ooh.
That sounds like our friend Karma rearing its head.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about karma, because that ties into my example of the guy that I was dating who, is still not treating the employees very nicely. When somebody does you wrong, part of forgiveness is belief in karma. Okay? Forgive them, walk away, don't invest an ounce of your valuable time, your precious thoughts, your emotions into that person anymore. And karmically, I should say, know that they're going to be taken care of. You know, because I think anybody that is so mean and malicious and evil must be so empty and joyless and filled with self-hatred. And that's probably the case with this guy, but that's not my problem.
We all have karmic lessons to live, and karma doesn't always have to be a bad thing. You know, we could be good people, and good karmic things happen to us. You know, we're good people, so we win the lottery, or you know, we live a
But
comfortable
sometimes
life.
we're good people and awful things happen to us.
Yeah.
So maybe that should be explained too.
Okay.
Um,
So it generally is a lesson for someone, right?
right.
It may not be even though it was a bad thing karmically that happened to us, it may not be us that the lesson is for. Could be for someone else.
Right. And sometimes it has to do with past lives. Um, I did an episode in the backyard where I was fighting mosquitoes and I was trying to explain past lives and the value of going through a regression or even getting in touch with who you were, who you knew, the life you led. So sometimes you may have brought over issues from past lives that need to be karmically rectified here.
Isn't that why we generally go from life to life? Some people don't believe in life after.
No, some people believe we're just here once and that's
Right.
it, and others believe we keep coming back for the evolution of the soul. Some people believe that in this day and age, some of the souls of higher ranking origin that had literally retired were called back into duty because of the whole power shift. I don't know when this particular episode's going to end, but I'm guessing it's probably December 21st has come and gone. And we're still here. So, but you know, you can see the shift in energy. A lot more people, I'm pleased to announce, are getting more into spirituality. Oprah is doing an amazing job getting the word out. And here's my cat making yet another appearance. You know, no religion can claim that they have it right. It's all paths to God. I'm all over the place.
Yes, you are.
Reel me in here. Reel me in.
Well, you were talking about past lives and how when we come back, it's usually a karmic lesson, and maybe not just so much for us as for maybe for someone else.
Right.
We're helping someone else to fulfill their karmic destiny. You know, I think sometimes it happens in life that you create karmic issues. You know, you maybe did some bad things when you were younger and you hadn't had a chance to right that karma in this lifetime before you pass away. You get in a car accident or whatever, and so you have to come back to clean up all
Well,
those.
you know, I know sometimes bad stuff happens to good people, but another way of, again, it's all kind of how you look at it, and I know there's definitely very tragic things out there that I can't explain. The 9/11,
the tsunami.
the tsunami, or the
Right.
commercials for St. Jude's with those sick little children. I'm sorry, but I got nothing. I thank God every day for my healthy children. But in the smaller problems in life, sometimes I think there are no problems. There's just challenges and obstacles. So if you have a mean boss, well, maybe kill him or kill her with kindness. If that doesn't work, you thought I was just going to say
really
kill
thought-
him, and that was it. Go out, hire a hitman.
Yes, I
No
kinda
credit,
did.
no credit. Kill him with kindness. Maybe some of you out there thought I was going to stop with the kill him part too. What's an example? Another example. Debt. First of all, I am and manifest that you have prosperity. Find joy in every little thing that you can, and more goodness, more prosperity will come. Don't think poor thoughts and poor me and why me. What's another crappy problem people could have? Children that don't behave. I know that one. But you know what? They're healthy, they're good. Just keep chalking it up to the fact that they're going through a phase, and I don't know about you guys out there, I was no angel growing up. Were you?
No, not by any means. I wasn't really mean to people.
I wasn't mean either. I was just
Right.
wild.
Yeah, did a lot of stuff. I pushed the boundaries. Yeah, I wasn't an inside the box kind of gal. I know you find that hard to believe.
Yeah. Wild woman.
Pat,
In Michigan, no less.
you were talking
Home
about
of the wild.
you were talking about past life regression
Oh, was I?
earlier, and yeah, you're talking about past. Well, not regression itself. You were talking about past lives.
Okay.
But in past life regression, isn't that where we can go back and clear up issues we have? Like, say we had
Well, we can't
fears of water.
undo the past.
Right, we can't undo the past.
But we can see it, recognize it,
and then not have that fear anymore. Like, it was Brian Weiss who did the
yes,
past life regression, and the woman had a fear of
everything.
Well, she had a fear of everything, but each time that he addressed a fear, like her fear of
Claustrophobia,
fear of water,
she
it turned out she drowned in a past life, and when she relived that past life and saw herself and what happened and realized that she was still alive, and when she woke up from the past life regression, she no longer had a fear of water.
Right. As soon as I've always found there's benefit to going back and seeing your past lives, because first of all, you'll see the life that you led, and maybe it hasn't. You could be a wonderful person in this lifetime. You could have been like a killer or something in a past life. You get to see the people that you've met this lifetime that are true soulmates, not the romantic. Oh, you're my soulmate. I love you. Ugh, boring. It's soul connection when you meet somebody and you have that instant familiarity with them. You can see your talents, your passions that have carried over. And like Laura was just saying, you can also see your fears. And once you see and recognize and notice, it definitely makes this go around a lot easier. You're more knowledgeable.
Which makes it easier. That's exactly the word I was going to use. It makes it a lot
But you
easier.
didn't. I used it.
Right. No.
Just want everyone to know that I used that word.
I have a horrible fear of spiders. I really don't think I need to go into a past life, although if I did and saw how I lost my life to some vicious spider, I'm sure I wouldn't have this fear anymore, but I have a horrible fear of spiders.
Yeah, what I always try to say is that if, like, you were 10 years old and you almost drowned, and now you're 40 and you're afraid of water, that's not a past life. That's something that happened to you in this lifetime. It's still a very real fear. But I always tell people one of my number one things is I could never have anything close to my neck. No turtlenecks, no necklaces, no scarves. And I touched upon about 8 past lives, even though I'm sure there's many more. In most of them, I was a witch, and I was hung, or I was put in the guillotine. You know that. And so, even though I touched upon it, in this lifetime, I just take precaution. Don't put anything by my neck.
Yep.
Also, sometimes in your dreams, you could sort of spontaneously go back into a past life. I want to just touch on the subject of dreams a little bit, because somebody asked me one time, are all dreams prophetic? Meaning you dream something and within a short period of time it happens. And no. Sometimes you just have a few too many beers before bed, or, some off guacamole, and you just dream weird stuff. If you have a prophetic dream, the spiritual hours are between 2:30 and 4. If you wake up and it's been vivid in color and content, and people write this stuff down and then say, don't ever, 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 ever buy a dream dictionary, please.
No, I'd have to disagree. I think that there is
the problem with the dream dictionary is there are a few things that are universal.
There is some validity. Yeah, there is some validity. There are universal things.
Right,
absolutely.
but like water means emotions, okay? But I love the water. If I dream I'm in water, I'm sure I'm floating and relaxing and enjoying. Other people that are afraid of water, it's terrifying. And I think these dream dictionaries you are the best interpreter of your own dreams. You know,
Well,
you need to know how to analyze them.
That's the key. You got to know how to analyze them, and you're very good at it. I have to say, you're excellent at it, but not everyone is. Not everyone has that
But
ability.
everyone can learn.
Right, but I think that having the book to refer to sometimes, because the books nowadays, there's so many of them out there. I think if it didn't have any kind of validity, there wouldn't be so many of them out there. I think
But
that
people, when they have questions, can believe anything. Well, I tell you what, before you go out and buy a dream dictionary, why don't you guys give me a jingle? Maybe I can help you out.
there you go.
There you go.
She's
And-
very good at interpreting dreams, but sometimes some people just don't always get well, first off, the dream isn't always about the obvious. There's always usually some sort of symbolism.
It's usually never about the obvious.
It's convoluted.
Have you
and
ever
just
dreamt
kinda
that you
go,
had sex
"What?"
with somebody and, you know, it's not like Brad Pitt or my smoking hot producer. It's like a best friend or somebody of the same sex, and you wake up horrified why you had sex? Sex dreams really don't ever mean sex. It means intimacy. Maybe you had a new intimacy with this person. You become closer. You're sharing more. Maybe you wish for more intimacy with this person. Sex dreams really don't mean sex.
As in the death card in the tarot doesn't.
Death card in the tarot never means death. Physical
There you
death.
go. There you go. So it's all, and so you always get these really convoluted symbols, and you just kind of go, what did that mean? Yeah.
But I find that through conversation, people can actually figure out and put together their own dreams. And I just want to say, I thank you for that compliment about me interpreting dreams so well.
Oh, you're excellent.
But
I'll give you props.
Laura and I are doing things here that you guys can easily do. She can heal. I can talk to the dead. We can teach you. We'd be happy to teach you. We give lectures and seminars. So,
please give us a call if you have any questions, or email us at angelsferieswitches@gmail.com.
And you can watch us on YouTube also. Okay? Thank you. Have a pleasant evening.
Be well.